Good morning, podcast listeners. Today I have a topic and something I've been thinking about a lot lately that I think a lot of you will enjoy. It's the topic of passion versus purpose. What actually means more and what we should be following and what should matter most in our lives. Should we be more passionate? Should we have a purpose? Is there one that's better than the other? So I'm going to kind of talk through that with you guys today. So for me, I've never really had to run into the dilemma of both, and a lot of the people around me haven't really had to run into that dilemma either, just because of the fact that our passions and purposes often coincide with each other, and they often are the same thing. Your passion and the thing that you care most about oftentimes can be the thing that gives you purpose and meaning in life. And for me, with all the things that I've learned about, especially happiness and subjective well-being, and Martin Seligman's research on that, and the 3 different categories of pleasure and engagement and meaning, oftentimes people who follow their passion get all of those, and they often have that meaning, which in turn is purpose. And when I think about that topic, a lot of people will say to me, which one's better? Which one do you need more of? Which one is going to be most important? Should I follow my passion or my purpose? And for me, I kind of give a weird answer that doesn't give them something direct, but gives them sort of a framework to go ahead and follow. Why not both is my answer to that question. Why can't we be passionate and have our passion be our purpose? Why not? There's plenty of people who do have it. And how did they get to finding what their passion is and having it be their purpose? And it really just comes down to finding out and thinking about the things that make you happy and the things that motivate you, and the changes that you want to see in the world, and the creations and insights that you want to see taken and taken importantly and acted upon are often what people need to find within themselves before they can say, okay, I have a passion or a purpose. And oftentimes they need to find that for themselves. So a lot of people need to really introspect more and really need to dig within themselves and say, I'm passionate about this because of these reasons, or because these factors mean to me, or because this is important to me. Or my purpose is this because I find meaning in it, or it gives me motivation to work every day, or one or the other reason behind that. And when I have discussions and deep discussions with either my students and fellow classmates and my fellow peers, it often comes down to, why can't we have both? Why can't we follow our passion and have that be our purpose all at the same time? And a lot of people are like, oh, you need to narrow down and find out as soon as you can. For me, it's like, go out there and try stuff. Go and actively learn what you like and what you dislike. You think about what a Bildungsroman is in literature. A person finds out who they are and the things that they enjoy doing based on learning what they like and what they don't like. Happens in so many novels, and people go out into the world and they try to act upon as many things as possible, really, in order to find who they are, and in order to find who they want to be as well. And people will search for that, and people will take as much time as they can. And I think a lot of people feel too rushed in order to really make the most out of this process. And in order to really find out who they are, people feel like, oh, I need to find out as soon as I can. I need to find my purpose by the time I'm 17 or 18 years old. No, I mean, you don't. Honestly, you don't. You should take as much time as you can in order to find something that's going to allow you to work for the rest of your life on that without having it mentally cost you and physically cost you, and not be something that gives you high levels of well-being. And we need to think about this, and people need to invest within themselves in order to find this importance. And within digging within yourself, you see the dividends, and taking that time to really find out who you are and who you want to be, and the things that contribute to all of those, and how you interact with your environment, and how your environment interacts with you, and the different characteristics that you've built up and the strengths that you've built up that allow you to be effective in certain areas. Really looking into yourself and finding out what all of those things are is one of the most valuable activities that any person can do, because we need to realize that we don't need to be rushed, but we should take the time that we need in order to really find out who we are and the things that mean something to us, and the things that have importance, and the things that give us meaning, and the things that really give us motivation to do, and motivation to learn, and motivation to live, and to be happy, and to be satisfied with the lives that we live, and in order to be positive figures in the world who make good change and are active leaders in that change. And I think a lot of people don't like to take that time for themselves, and don't like to invest in themselves and really learn as much about themselves as they can, because one, sometimes they feel that it's egoistic and they shouldn't be doing it, and the other one is that a lot of people often do think that they don't have the time to, and a lot of people say, oh, I'm too busy to really find out who I am, I'm too busy to find what my purpose is, I don't have enough time because I need to make decisions. Well, that's just not true. It's not, and it's a huge myth that I think a lot of the people in the world realize, or are starting to realize, that that's something that needs to change. People need to spend more time, and people really need to invest more within themselves and get more out of that time in order to really find out who they are and what's important to them, and how much that means down the line, in order for people to find out who they are, in order for people to really realize those things. So I do find importance in that, and I think that that's such a crucial activity. And investing within yourself is probably the most important thing to do in your life, because it produces more dividends than anything else will, in regards to your happiness, in regards to your life satisfaction, in regards to the meaning that you have, in regards to the relationships that you have, in regards to the success that you're able to achieve. All of that comes down to really knowing who you are, and understanding who you are, and understanding how the decisions that you make are impacted by those core philosophies and those core values that you have for yourself. So really taking the time to invest within yourself is what I would say the most important activity that humans can engage in. And I think if you really want to learn more about yourself, and learn who you are, and learn what you can do to be successful and make a mark on the world, that activity is so important. So passion or purpose, both. Do both. Learn more about yourself, take more time, and find out what those factors are that are going to push you and motivate you every day, and be important to you, and give you value, and give you the greatest happiness and satisfaction in life that you could ever dream of achieving. Find out what those things are, and take the time and invest into it, because at the end of the day, if you don't, you'll regret it when you're 90 years old on your deathbed, or if you did it, you'll be totally satisfied and happy with yourself when you're on your deathbed when you're 90 years old, and you'll be able to reflect and say to yourself, I've lived a good life. I've lived a life that had value, and that brought me incredible emotions, and brought me incredible feelings and senses and enjoyment. And it all boils down to that investing in yourself. So find your passion and find your purpose, and find out how they relate, and then just invest in yourself until you can get to that point, and continue to push, and continue to really, really dig in and try to find out who you are and how all of those things play together. And I hope this was insightful for all of you, and I'll be back at you guys tomorrow morning for something new and something different. We'll see if I stick with the psychology bit, or maybe we'll go to a different topic. So thanks for your time, guys, and go crush it today.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.